There are a multitude of different tips and tricks I can give you to help you build muscle, but some are more obscure and less important. Whereas some tips that I could give you could be the difference between your dream physique and looking like the average Joe. And in today's video, I'm going to provide you with the top 5 best and most important tips to help you obtain your dream physique. Tip number 1, make sure you're training hard enough. Most people just walk into the gym and think that just doing a couple of sets of curls a few times a week is going to get them 20-inch biceps. However, unfortunately, that's just not the case. If you want to build big biceps, you need to be training hard enough. Now, you may be wondering, how do I know if I'm training hard enough? There are a couple of things that you should be doing already in your training to know if you are training hard enough. 1, you should be doing a couple of sets to muscular failure each training day. 2, when you're not doing sets to muscular failure, you should be training within 3 reps of failure. 3, you can also, if you're a more advanced lifter, add intensity techniques like drop sets and rest pause sets. Tip number 2, make sure you're doing enough volume. Most people, after they get the training intensity down, just think that's all you need to do. But you can have your training intensity down to a T. But if you're not doing enough sets, you're not going to build the same amount of muscle as if you were doing enough volume. Now, what is the right amount of volume to be doing for optimal muscle growth? Well, unfortunately, there isn't a set number of sets to be doing it. Just depends on how much volume you can do and your training style. The minimum number of sets you need to be doing per muscle group per week is 6 working sets. And the maximum amount of sets you should be doing per muscle group is 20 working sets per week. If you train with a higher volume, you can train with slightly less intensity, and if you're doing lower volume, you need to use a higher intensity. Tip number 3, follow a set routine. If you just go into the gym without a routine, you won't build as much muscle, and here's why. By not having a routine, most people would only train what they want to train. So most people will just do chest 5 days a week and not do legs once. How do you think you will build an aesthetic physique when you don't train each muscle group equally? Secondly, depending on the muscle group, it will need either less or more time to recover. Your chest will need 48 to 72 hours to fully recover, whereas your calves or biceps may only need 24 to 48 hours to fully recover. So not following a training routine will negatively affect your gym gains. Bonus tip, don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any more tips and tricks to help you elevate yourself in your fitness journey. Tip number 4, get enough protein in. Now that your training is on point, you need to make sure your diet is on point. And the most important part of your diet is going to be your protein intake, as you need to get in enough protein so that after your training, your muscles have the resources to recover. So, how much protein do you need to get in a day? Well, it is recommended by most instructors to aim to get in 1 to 1 to 1.5 grams of protein per pound of body weight in a day. Tip number 5, don't forget about recovery. You may have perfect training and diet, but if you don't focus on recovery, you're leaving gains on the table. The main things you need to be thinking about to have good recovery are you getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep a night? Are you getting enough protein in? When you next go to train, do you feel fully recovered? Do you take rest days? Ask yourself these questions, and if you are lacking in any of these areas, fix it. Then you will notice more gains. Thanks for watching, and I hope that you learned something today. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments, and I will do my best to answer them.